President Nicolás Maduro visited the municipality of Zamora in the state of Miranda, Venezuela, as part of the National People's Consultation 2024 that will be held next Sunday, August 25th. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris formally accepted her official nomination as the Democratic Party's presidential candidate for the November election. And the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas denounced that the objective of Israel and the United States is to continue the genocide against the civilian Gazan population. Hello and welcome to From the South. My name is Belén de los Santos. I'm from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro visited the municipality of Zamora in the state of Miranda as part of the National People's Consultation 2024 that will be held next Sunday, August 25th. During his visit to the state of Miranda, the Venezuelan president assured that the power of the country lies in the Venezuelan people, a reality that is expressed in the communal councils that today play an important role in the development of social and productive projects. In this regard, the Venezuelan head of state urged the population of the community to attend and participate in the People's Consultation next Sunday. He also reiterated that he will support and finance the project chosen by each community according to their needs in order to repair the damage caused by the sanctions imposed by the U.S. government.
Now, with the consultation this coming Sunday, August 25th, immediately approved, certified. The project approved by each circuit. Piketty, the money has to come down, right there. I have something that I have been thinking about, that I have been talking to Hector. I was talking with Celia, with Alfred Nazaret, and I told Prado the other day that I am looking for some money to finance 4,505 productive projects. Nothing more than productive. We are healing wounds created by the criminal economic sanctions requested by the ultra-right and the fascist surnames.
On Tuesday, a video call was leaked in which a Venezuelan influencer based in Argentina revealed how much he was paid to publish content on his social networks with the aim of reinforcing the idea of fraud promoted by the Venezuelan ultra-right wing. Let's see.
Crear contenido relacionado a todo lo que está pasando en Venezuela. El precio global serían 400.
Create content related to everything that is happening in Venezuela. The global price would be 400. It would be 2 videos in Instagram, 2 in TikTok, plus the 8 stories for these 2 weeks. I'm not going to be in con el mazo dando. It is necessary to emphasize on the minutes, on the kidnappings, and based on that I prepare a content. I turn on the phone and say what is going on. Now what happens is that I work in advance, and here in Buenos Aires I can go to the spot and record right. Interview the people.
Crear contenido relacionado a todo lo que está pasando.
In this sense, the government of Venezuela has denounced that the ultra-right has resorted to artists, YouTubers, and influencers in order to destabilize the country and establish a narrative that casts doubts on the results of the presidential elections of last July 28th. In this sense, it's worth mentioning that the recent statements made by the artist Puma Rodriguez, who revealed having been intimidated by Venezuelan radical opposition with the purpose of influencing the electoral scenario. And we now move on to other topics. Outstanding Peruvian personalities denounced President Dina Boluarte before the International Criminal Court, holding her and other authorities accountable for the 49 deaths from repression of social protests. The allegation was announced by 16 plaintiffs, including former Prime Minister Mirta Vázquez, the then Foreign Minister Diego Garcia, and former ambassadors Oswaldo de Rivero and Harold Forris. The communique details that the president is the main culprit of the death occurred during the protests that were held in the country from December 2022 to February 2023. It also described the situation as a severe damage of the principles of representative democracy and added that it represents a series of serious human rights violations that cannot go unpunished. And a report from the Unified Registry of Violence Against Homeless People stated that between August 15, 2023 and August 15, 2024, 135 homeless people have died in Argentina. According to the agency, this represents on average, one death in public spaces every 2.5 days, while cases of institutional violence against the population have increased by 500% year on year. Furthermore, the report evidenced that almost a third part of the cases were acts of violence perpetrated by security forces on or public officials. In addition, it showcased that out of the deaths recorded, most of them occurred in the city of Buenos Aires, followed by the provinces of Buenos Aires, Salta, and Santa Fe. And on Tuesday, a cargo ship was quarantined in Argentina due to a suspected case of Mpox virus. In this sense, the Ministry of Health authorities ordered the isolation of the cargo ship from Brazil in the Paraná River after a crew member was found to have symptoms compatible with Mpox disease. Meanwhile, the ship, known as the Inalote, remains at the entrance of the port of San Lorenzo de Rosario, 310 kilometers northwest of Buenos Aires. On the other hand, Director of Health Promotion and Prevention of the province of Santa Fe, Analia Chumpitas, pointed out that although no cases of the new variant of Mpox have been yet reported in Argentina, health authorities continue to prioritize epidemiological surveillance for detection, early diagnosis, appropriate care, and application of isolation and contact tracing measures for possible cases. On Tuesday, different Latin American experts debated on lawfare and the phenomenon of judicial and media persecution for political purposes in the region. The Lawfare Observatory, the platform that organized the debate, invited specialists from Argentina, Peru, and Ecuador, among other countries, to analyze lawfare as a power device that affects people's democracy. On the behalf of Argentina, Elizabeth Gomez Alcorta, lawyer of the popular leader of indigenous roots, Milagro Sala, referred to how lawfare manifests itself through the intervention of the political, judicial, and media powers. Now let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. In the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris on Tuesday formally accepted her official nomination as the Democratic Party's presidential candidate for the November election. During a rally in the city of Milwaukee, held simultaneously with the second day of the convention being held in Chicago, Harris officially accepted the nomination. It should be noted that Kamala Harris, aged 59, secured the Democratic nomination for president earlier this month when she won the support of 99% of the delegates at a virtual meeting of the Democratic National Committee.
Delegates, please know how critical you are to this process, both now and earlier this month when we conducted our virtual roll call. I am thrilled to reaffirm Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States.
This is not just about us versus Donald Trump. This is about two very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future. The other, focused on the past. And Wisconsin, we fight for the future. We fight for the future.
And in this context, outside the Democratic Convention in Chicago, dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with police officers on Tuesday. During the clashes, American flags were seen burning, while chants of Free Palestine were chanted in front of the Israeli consulate located near the United Center site of the convention. Protesters attempted to break through a barrier of riot police in front of the building that houses the consulate in their demand that the country stops support to the genocide being carried out by Israel on Gaza. And we now go to the situation in Gaza as Israel pursues dropping bombs in the street, evading a ceasefire and slaughtering at least 52 Palestinians in the last 24 hours. The Wafa news agency revealed that at least one Gazan was killed due to an Israeli airstrike on the house of the Al-Khatib family in the Jabalia refugee camp. On Tuesday evening, the shelling left several people injured, including children. The attacks further killed 12 people in the school in Gaza and 9 in a crowded market area in Deir al-Balah, where about 1 million people have been displaced, and in the last hours the occupation army issued even more evacuation orders.
What did we do to them, and what do they want from us, and why are we being targeted? We are children and have nothing to do with it. We were sleeping and did nothing, and I woke up and found myself covered in rubble, and I couldn't breathe. I want to go to my family.
There is significant destruction as a result of this attack. The occupation is clearly targeting homes with large missiles. The area and surroundings that were targeted a short while ago have been heavily damaged.
In this context, Palestinian resistance movement Hamas denounced that the objective of Israel and the United States is to continue the genocide against the civilian population of the Gaza Strip. The high official of the Palestinian movement, Osama Hamdan, said he agreed with the proposal presented by U.S. President Joe Biden, but assured that they did not convince the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also warned that the Israelis have left aside the important issues of the Washington plan and are not willing to accept it. On the other hand, Hamdan emphasized that any agreement must include 5 basic issues, starting with the end of the aggression, the withdrawal of Israeli forces, and the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you will be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. In Iran, a bus carrying Shiite pilgrims from Pakistan to Iraq crashed on Tuesday evening, claiming at least 28 lives. According to authorities, the vehicle got overturned and caught fire on the outskirts of Taft City with 51 pilgrims aboard. In addition to the 28 fatalities, another 23 were injured in the accident, 14 under serious health conditions. The Pakistani pilgrims who were crossing over Iran to reach Karbala, Iraq, in order to attend the annual Arbaeen March to mark 40 days since the death of Imam Hussein, one of the most significant days for Shia Islam.
Unfortunately, we report 28 deaths and 23 injured, a total of 51 casualties. The bus was carrying Pakistani pilgrims on their way from Pakistan to Iraq for Arbaeen rituals. It went off the road in Deshir County, Taft City, Yazd province due to lack of control of the vehicle driver, unfamiliarity with the road, high speed, and technical problems.
We go now to Sudan as the country is being affected by a cholera outbreak that has been on the rise for the last few weeks, pushing the death toll up to 22. In this context, the acting Minister of Health of the Gazala state, Ali Adam, confirmed over 300 cholera cases in the county lately. Experts found the last outbreak 2 weeks ago with pocket infections detected in the towns of Kassala, El Jazeera and Khartoum. The Sudanese health crisis has been aggravated by the violent clashes between the armed forces and the paramilitary groups, destroying civilian infrastructure and further damaging a battered healthcare system.
If there is a suspected case of cholera, the patient is transferred to the Emergency and Isolation Department. Doctors are available 24/7. Physicians classify and stabilize the case, and if it is proven to be a cholera case, they start treatment immediately. If it is not, the patient is sent home after being stabilized. This hospital is not able to accept many cases.
In other news, on Tuesday, President Vladimir Putin arrived in the Russian Republic of Chechnya to visit the University of Special Forces in the city of Kudansk. Putin met with the commanders of special units, instructors and volunteers from all over Russia who want to move to the Ukrainian conflict zone and are being trained there. On site, he was shown samples of foreign weapons seized during the fighting in the Ukrainian conflict zone, as well as samples of medical equipment of both Russian and foreign manufacture. In this sense, Putin praised and thanked the volunteers for their difficult decision. As long as we have men like this, and you will be absolutely invincible, the president stressed. We go now to sports, as on Wednesday, the first delegations to attend the Paris Paralympic Games arrived at the Village of Athletes. In Paris, the Village of Athletes officially opened its doors a week earlier at the beginning of the Paralympics. The Games will kick off on Wednesday, and the opening ceremony, 180 delegations will parade from the Champs-Élysées to the Place de la Concorde. A total of 4,400 athletes will be participating in the respective competitions. After 11 days, the Paris Paralympic Games will hold its closing ceremony on Sunday, September 8th. Some participants of the event shared their opinions on the matter.
Just like all the athletes, I'd like to be awarded the gold medal. We're going to do our best to achieve that. I think the Paralympics should be even better. We are people with disabilities and we want to play sport just like everyone else. We also want to be recognized as athletes, like everyone else.
We are here to make the world know that yes, we are also part of sports, and we are here to compete with the world.
And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and also on TikTok. For TeleSUR English, my name is Belén de los Santos. Thank you for watching.